Whenever you're ready.
Wow.
Whenever
uh,
you're ready. Sorry.
Hi everyone, welcome to WYP. I've got the legend Iqra with me. We're gonna talk to you about her projects, about what she's done. Follow our socials at WYP.association on Twitter, at WYP_association on Instagram. Iqra, first of all, before we get started on the team yourself, talk to us about yourself, about what you've done and what you're doing at the moment.
Yeah, hi guys. Firstly, pleasure to be on. I'm saying that. Thank you for inviting me on. Type thing. I am 20 years old. I am a student technically. Oh, it doesn't seem like it, but I'm a student. I run a football club called Hilltop Women's Football Club. I'm the current
Mm.
director of women's football at that club. Um, yeah, it obviously previously was called No Women's Football Club. It started about a year and a half ago. So when I was about 19, June 2019. And the club is basically aimed at engaging BAME women in football in a safe, comfortable, female-only environment. Um, yeah, that's the gist of it, really.
Okay, so you mentioned you've sort of found a team that aims to attract as many BAME females into football. How did you find that when you were sort of you came up with the idea. Tell me about the idea. Tell me about what sort of got you to get up and do it. Tell me about your initiative to go and do it.
So
Tell me
when I was
about
young,
the start. Yeah.
obviously, having joined my first club, and to be fair, every club I joined after that, I didn't really see anybody else, on the pitch, off the pitch, that looked a lot like myself. I didn't see anybody else involved in football that was, from the BAME community. And if they were, then it wasn't, someone that was maybe visibly Muslim. I didn't really see a lot of other people essentially were a mirror of myself. So I remember when I was younger, and I had a trial for a club. I probably should have mentioned the name, but I had a trial for a club, with a couple of my friends, and I remember that we felt a bit hard done by at the end of it. Basically, we didn't get into the club, and some people that we felt like maybe didn't have as great of an ability in comparison to us did, or whatever essentially happened. And we sat down afterwards and said, you know what, one day we're gonna start up something that gives people like us the opportunity to play, and we're gonna make sure that that everybody gets the opportunity to play football in an environment where they feel comfortable and basically can go on to become elite footballers or whatever they want to do, even if they just want to play for recreation. But I remember we said it and we were like, yeah, when we're like in our 30s and we've been working for a while, we've saved up, we'll just do it then. And then I remember, fast forward to February 2019, there was a charity football tournament that I hosted, alongside a few of my friends, and we did the tournament, and there was like a good, I think, 4 or 5 teams that came through. There's a great turnout. People came to watch and that kind of stuff. So I remember looking at this afterwards, and I was speaking to, my cousin about it, who ended up starting the club with later on. And I think it was something essentially along the lines of, there's actually no better time than now to start something, because
Mm.
in the back of my head it was like, I'm thinking about doing this, and I'm thinking about engaging these women, but really and truly, how do I even know that anybody even wants this? This might even just be in my head. And then
Yeah.
that turnout showed me, like, there is an interest there, so I need to make sure I do something with it. And we did something.
No, it's inspiring for me because this like page, this association I'm doing, it's is because of people like you. I see people like you that, well, they just get up and take the initiative and go do their thing, and actually, you know what they say to themselves, no, I can't, I'm not going to sit around and wait until I have, like, till I'm older, until I'm doing this. I'll just get up and do it now. And it's amazing to see, because there's more and more people that are actually taking the initiative and actually just speaking up and saying, yo, like, I don't wanna just sit around and I've got an idea in my head. I want to better the people around me. I want to better my community. But you just don't sit on it. You just go do it. So that's inspiring to see. Tell me about, because obviously I know, you know, I'm sure you know about how did you, when you went and asked your parents, or did you tell your parents, was it a thing of, oh, no, no, so, or were they supportive and were they there to help out? Tell me about, and it's not just your parents. Tell me about if you had
Mm,
friends or just people that thought, nah, that's not it.
I think for a long time, for me personally, like me and football were the same thing. Like, if you thought about me, you thought, yeah, it's that girl that plays football, essentially. And
Yeah.
that's essentially who I was. That was 90% of my identity to most people. So, you know, growing up, it was like my mom was like, yeah, obviously she'll play. Eventually she'll get bored. The rest of my siblings, like my older sisters, played netball, and someone else played rounders and basketball and that stuff. So mom was just like, yeah, eventually they'll get bored. It's fine. Yeah, she'll get bored eventually. It's fine. Just let her keep going or whatever. And I remember there was a day, right? Oh, she never lets me forget this. Like there was a day where I think I got like an ankle injury, something. I came home. I think my ankle must have sprained my ankle or something. I come home and I was like, yeah, mom, like my ankle's messed up today. She said, listen, you know, we spoke about this. Honestly, like I thought you said you were gonna stop playing. Yada yada. I said, you know what, Ben man, I was one angry, not even angry kid, but just I was upset that particular day. I think I didn't have a good football session. So I come home. I said, you know what, mom, I'm gonna keep playing and I'm not gonna stop. And you're just gonna have to deal with it. Right? So the day I sprained my ankle, I came home from a session. You're just gonna have to deal with it. Of course. So then later on, so like, weeks later,
doing that, well, telling you're gonna have to deal with it. That is that's a mad thing. Because if I was to come and tell my dad, yo, listen, you gotta deal with it.
She looked at me like
he would bang me in my jaw and he's like, no, you're not doing anything. Nah, I know what it is. I know how it feels, and that's a madness.
Right. Right, this isn't when I did my ankle. I came a couple of weeks later. Something I did my ankle. I came home and I was like, Mom, my ankle's hurting. Okay, all right, cool, come. So she's treating it. Whatever. She's giving me something ice or whatever. She looked at me. She goes, she wasn't saying that. And I was like, what? She goes, I'm dealing with it. And I was like, oh, all right, cool, touche. Like, I couldn't really say anything about it. So, do you know what? Eventually, she kind of got comfortable with the idea that I wasn't going to stop. I was a stubborn kid. So, she just made sure that I kind of held on to like my morals and my principles, and you know, I didn't let things compromise my religion and compromise my beliefs and that kind of stuff. So, as long as I held on to that, she was just like,
you touched on something that I'm trying to. Is literally the epitome of what I'm trying to do. Literally, like, because look, we're gonna get deeper now, because the thing is with, let's say I'm chasing a career, and one thing that I think a lot of people are doing, like Muslims that are doing in today's world, in Western societies, is, okay, cool, I get an opportunity where it's a good opportunity, but I'm gonna compromise my deen, my values, my principles in some way. Now, the thing is with how we are right now is, I think it's getting better. I think people are starting to clock on the fact that, yo, there's like, we shouldn't be compromising our deen and who we are for like Western, like Western things. Like, so even I'm looking at their like entertainment industry and all the like the influencers and whatnot, and there's some amazing influencers, some amazing Muslim guys out there. But one thing that I'm looking from my perspective is, yo, they look like they're compromising themselves a little bit. They're doing really well, they're doing amazing, and they may inspire people to go out there and influence and do well, but are they actually living up to their principles, living up to their deen? And it's something that I want to address through the association, through the page that I'm doing. You literally just said it now, of, listen, I got up, I started a whole team which went against culture. It didn't go against my religion. It just went against culture, against, you know, because if you go back home in Iraq or Somalia or wherever, there's not a female team around. You can't just go to a local FA and say, yo, I need a female team. Nah, you can't. So that's, so has there been an incident where, yo, like something in front of you might have compromised your beliefs, your principles, your deen? And how did you react to that, if you've come across something like that?
I feel like it's important that it's funny that you brought that up, actually, to be fair, because earlier today I was looking at, I don't know if you should have heard of her, Halima Aden. She's a Somali model.
Yeah, I saw your story. Yeah,
it's so basically today she basically posted that really long Instagram story of basically how she's made mistakes in her modeling career. She said, listen, I feel like I compromised my hijab. I was meant to be the first hijabi model, I was meant to be the role model, and I compromised it this many times, and I made this many mistakes, and essentially, you know, this is the wrong that I've done, and I don't want anybody else to make the same mistake, essentially. She said, Mum gave me the advice that I need to correct this publicly, so this is what I'm doing. And it's amazing. I think it's a very difficult thing, especially when you're the first to do something. There is no one before you. There's no one that sets the template or the guideline. It's you. You're the one that has to make all the mistakes and take all the heat for the people who follow you to essentially come back from that. So for myself, you know, being at football clubs where, like, you know, the kit is at shorts and stuff like that, and you know, having to compromise, or not having to compromise, but them wanting you to compromise. I remember I've told the story like 101 times, but I think when I was like 14, I joined my first club, and you know, there was a conversation being had about, like, you know, kit and what I can wear like that. And I was like, obviously don't really want to wear shorts. Like, is there another option? And my coach just started stuttering, and I was like, I don't understand why you're stuttering. And he was just like, he basically essentially turned around and said, you know, I've never had a Muslim player in my team before. I don't really know, you know, what to do and that kind of thing. So it just shows that it showed to me again that I was the first, and now I have to now lay down the foundations and, you know, sort of let people understand how this can be done. And admittedly, yeah, there's been times I've compromised. I spent a period of time that wasn't wearing my hijab, do you know what I'm saying? And then eventually I had to go on my own journey to you know, really understand my religion, really understand my beliefs, and put it back on again and that kind of thing. And obviously that's a thing that inshallah will never happen again, type thing. So I think for me personally, it was just about going on that journey and understanding that as long as you stand firm in your belief, if that door closes, a better one will open for you. It's not a problem. As long as you hold on to your belief, your principles.
Do you know how much this gasses me to see someone that actually sort of understands that as well? Because I thought, wow, I'll be real, I haven't come across someone that has done amazing and hasn't compromised themselves in any way. Like, you've done some amazing adverts as well. You've been in Nike adverts, and you've been in this and that, but all of that, and you haven't compromised your deen, who you are, what you stand for, and what you believe in. I think in terms of you having a purpose, I think hit the nail on the head in terms of just looking, like, finding something like, yo, there's not enough girls that are playing football. We need to go play football. Did you struggle to like find provisions or sort of things that can help you grow in terms of, was there any struggles when you made the team?
I think the most difficult one was just building connections, because, you know, in football it's a massive industry, but at the same time it's very, very small. I feel like if you know the right people, you can get anything done, essentially. So for me, to start off with, it was just trying to build those connections and start to meet the right people and that kind of thing. So first thing I did was go into my own network and who I knew already. So, you know, there was a group chat full of like basically football coaches, like Somali football coaches, essentially. There's a group chat. So basically I literally dropped a message in there, and I was like, listen, I'm trying to start something for like, I'm trying to start a female team, essentially, something for the women. Does anybody have any advice? Very simple statement. Does anybody have 4 or 5 coaches came to me. Someone gave me advice on, you know, the legalities and setting up as an organization. Someone told me about where I can get facilities and equipment, and, you know, how I should promote and that kind of stuff. And I just started to piece things together, and, you know, whatever context they gave me, I went to that person, they passed me on to somebody else, and then somebody else. And some of those meetings were pointless and didn't help me, and some of them, you know, have set me up with people that, you know, without them I probably wouldn't have gotten to this position that I'm in now, essentially. So I feel like it was just about for me building those connections. And it can be difficult because you'll get no's, and you'll get, you know, people you have to chase up, and people you got to send follow-up emails to, and hi, I'm not sure if you saw them, you know, them was like, literally you've got to do all of that. But it's just about keeping your head held high and just understanding the reason you started all of this and that kind of thing. And yeah, and for later on for me, obviously the more players and stuff that got involved, the more the expectation grew, and the more responsibility on my shoulders grew, because now it's not just about, oh, if I do this and it doesn't work out, it's just on me, because now I'm carrying the team, carrying a bunch of people that, you know, without me essentially wouldn't have nowhere else to play and nowhere else to go to play their football. So it was a lot, but it was a blessing.
I need everyone to deep how young you are there, because it's not a thing of I've been going on for like 10 years, coaching for 10 years, and now I can start up. No, it's a thing of, I don't care how young I am. I don't care who's going to say anything. I might get a few no's, a few like faces that are going to screw up on me, but I don't care. That is what really like pushes people to actually say, you know what, she doesn't care, why should I care as well? And hearing like your experiences, what you've went through, it's sort of, it's like there's girls out there that almost exactly like you, in the same position as like you, may even live in the same area as you, and they're looking at that and thinking, yo, like, she got up, she started her own club. I might go start my own club as well. Or I might go and, I don't, whether it's football, whether it's basketball, whether it's whatever, it's the initiative to actually get up and go and do something, which is really, really inspiring in your case. About yourself, like you yourself, we've talked about the team. Like, do you like reflect? Do you, how do you go about basically learning more about yourself, if you do?
Yeah, no. I feel like self-reflection and self-criticism are like massively important things. You have to be your biggest critic. You have to sit down and, you know, assess situations and, okay, cool, what did I do right in this situation? All right, what did I do wrong? Why was it wrong? Okay, cool, how can I now rectify that? If I can't rectify it, how can I do better going forward? And that kind of thing. So I think sometimes it's gonna sound really weird, but sometimes I promise you, like, you just need to chat to yourself. Sounds really old, but like, there's times where I could take a train or something for like a stop or two. I think, nah, you know what, let me just walk it. And I'll walk and I'll just sort of be lost in my own thoughts and just have that moment of like introspection and just looking inside yourself and jumps in, having conversations with yourself. And yeah, journaling is a big one. That sounds kind of
Do you do journaling?
Yeah, I think I've started it recently, maybe the past couple of months, but honestly, it helps so much because right now I could go back and look at the space that I was in a couple of months ago and think, okay, cool. So, you know, what have I done to change that? Essentially, how am I feeling now? Like just checking up on yourself. I know there's all these tweets and messages about, yeah, checking up on your friends and stuff like that, but you know, charity starts at home. You've got to check up on yourself and figure out what you're doing right, what you're doing wrong, and how you can improve.
That's crazy, because with journaling, for me, this is me personally, and like I just like I would rather sit in my room and just like stare at the wall and just think and just or in the shower I'm like raw and just think and just speak, and I'd rather do that than journal, because for me I can't be bothered to write. Well, that's personal, that's me personal, and I think I reflect in my way, you reflect in your way. Just I think the message right now is go find a way where you can reflect, where you can actually think to yourself about yourself and think, raw, I was just in a coaching session right now. How did that go? Did I treat the players properly? Did I speak to them properly? Did I get my coaching points out there? Did I do this? Did I do that? Did I do that? That reflection is, I think, what sort of makes you discover yourself almost. In terms of just any other experiences, I know you've had a few other experiences with Nike, with Adidas. How was that? Tell us.
Unreal, I think, is the only thing I can say. Like I think as a kid, like, you'll be watching, you know, like
wait. Hold on. Before you start, were you in an advert with LeBron James? LeBron James and
I did, like I was, but I wasn't. Does that make sense?
No, I'm saying you were. What, just say that you were.
I was, but
You were in an advert with LeBron James.
The way that I found out, but that was so funny. I was just on YouTube. So I'm on,
oh, you watched the interview on YouTube?
No, I was watching something. I can't remember what I was watching. I was watching something, and like an advert came on YouTube. It was a night. I said, "Oh, let me watch this. This is quite interesting." I'm watching it. I paused. I said, "Wait."
Wait, do they not tell you?
Nah. So I filmed like I did a shoot with them in January, and then obviously they used some of the footage from that to put into this shoot.
Okay.
So I didn't know that. I saw obviously the original shoot I knew about. So I'm looking at this one. What was this? Hold on. Let me. I know her. I know this woman. Who is she? Wow. But yeah, nah. But I think you never think about, like, as a kid, like, you're watching these adverts and stuff, you're just like, oh, that's so cool, like this athlete and that person and this and that, and like, all of a sudden it's you. Do you know what I'm saying? All of a sudden you're the one that's representing, you know, your community and stuff like that. And it's, again, like, it's a massive responsibility, I think, because you've got to do it right. Like, if you're going to be one person to represent, you know, a whole community, then you've got to be, you've essentially got to hold the weight of that community on your shoulders. And it's great. It's fun. It's a lot of fun. Basically, I think everyone at Nike is amazing. They're all good peoples, and it's a really enjoyable thing. And I hope to keep doing it.
You earlier on, you said that you had a WhatsApp group with all the Somali coaches in your community. I think that is key as well. I think that's important because I can't tell you a group chat that has all the Iraqi thing in it, all the
Mm,
coaches, you know, that are in Iraq. Maybe there isn't many. I think
mm,
the Somali community is much bigger than the Iraqi community. I don't think, but it's
mm.
something that we should do as even like me, you, like Muslim coaches. I
Yeah,
don't think
yeah.
there's enough of a network like that. That's also one of the reasons why I started what I'm doing right now. Because I wanted to network the people that aren't networking with each other. Maybe I'm missing the point. Maybe I'm missing out. Maybe I'm not seeing it in the right way. But from my side, it looks like everyone's a bit distant. I think when we work together, we celebrate each other and we support each other. That's when your growth really it's really like it amplifies itself. And you said that you sent one message in a group, you got someone helping you with the legal stuff, you got someone helping you with facilities equipment. So I think building WhatsApp groups with and it doesn't have to be about coaches as well. I know you've got a group chat with coaches, but I can have a group chat right now with me, and then my friend does business, and then his friend does marketing, his friend
Yeah.
does this, that,
Mm,
and that. And from what I start up a club, I need help with marketing. I just send out a message in a group saying, can anyone help with marketing and whatnot? And they'll give you the tips and tricks. And so starting what group chats, networking, trying to help other people will eventually help yourself. And obviously that's now it goes back to intention of, okay, you're going to help that guy out. Are you expecting something in return?
mm.
If you expect something in return, you're going to be disappointed, I think.
Yeah,
Um,
100%.
so did, did did you get any, did you reach out to the FA in at any point and sort of ask them for any support or?
I reached out to my local FA. No, this is what happened. So the group chat, basically they're obviously in that same conversation as there was one of the coaches that I ended up becoming really, really, really good friends with, as a result of that message. But he's UEFA B coach, so he was in contact with someone at the FA, kind of a guy, and then that guy put me in contact with another amazing woman, basically, who, you know, she's really high up in the FA and that kind of thing. So she obviously then dropped me a message. I sat down, had a meeting with her, and basically sort of got that, it built the network essentially. Like I can't sit down and say, you know, this and this and this happened, but obviously, like, you know, it gave me a point of contact for when, you know, if ever I needed something. Like I don't even know how much equipment they've sent me at this point, with obviously us having, like, being low and stuff like that, because football's, trust me, you coach, football's go missing like like nothing, honestly. So yeah, I did build a connection with the FA, and honestly, it's been amazing. They're great people as well. Or her herself, she's an amazing woman. So yeah, I think that connection is very important. But I think it's easier to make than you think. Even if it's not the actual FA, it can be, you know, your local FA,
Yeah.
London, Middlesex FA, whoever it
Mm,
may be. So it's important to just, honestly, all you got to do is send out an email. I feel like we
mm,
make things so difficult for ourselves.
yeah,
We make
that's
it
it.
seem
That's it.
impossible. All you got to do is reach out to a person. What's the worst thing they can do? Say
Yeah.
no.
Listen,
Not cost anything, honestly.
that's that's what I'm doing right now. I mean, I message you like, this is
Yeah.
my idea, this is what I'm trying to do, and you're like, yeah, 100%. Why not? And because you saw like a benefit for yourself, and you saw that it's something that could actually help the community and whatnot, you're like, yeah, 100%. And that's I'm very appreciative of that, and I'm grateful for your time in it.
Honestly, with most people, I feel like, yeah, a lot of people in positions similar to mine, because me, I don't think I don't think I've made it any way, shape, or form. But, you know, I'm trying to obviously work my way up. But I feel like with most people, they're more than happy to pass on their knowledge. They're more than happy to pass on
Yeah,
whatever they've learned in their journey. Because for the simple fact that I would have liked hearing that from someone before me, but I didn't.
yeah.
So I need to be able to pass that on. So people like you creating that platform for them to pass on that information is just as important as the work that we're doing. And I hope you know that.
Thank you. I appreciate your words. You said, were you studying before you started all this? Tell us about your situation. Tell us about the position that you were in. Were you in a, like, did you always feel like you were in a good position, or were there times where you might have went through something that, like I went through something and in the end of it, I came out a different person? Or were you always the same person? It was just an idea springed up in your mind and you just went and done it?
No, I feel like life comes at you fast. I feel like life changes you a lot. I was basically in the summer between, I was in my first year of uni essentially when I started getting things going. But the thing was, I moved out for uni, so I didn't live in London at the time. So I went to uni outside London for first year, thought up the idea, got things going. Over the summer, actually, piloted the project and started running the sessions. And then I got to the end of summer and I was like, okay,
Go back to
I
uni.
don't go to uni. Yeah, am I going to go back to uni? And so I had a choice to make then. And it was like, essentially, I could go back to uni and still try to run this from a distance, or I can maybe put a pause on it or something. But if I do that, am I going to regret it? Am I going to think, have I put 100% into it? Do you know what I'm saying? I needed to be able to be in a position where I thought I can put 100% into this, and if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. But at least I know I don't have any regrets. So I decided to
Wow.
the uni.
Listen,
Yeah.
the reason why I'm reacting like this is because that's exactly how I felt when I was doing my, like, literally to the words that you said were exact. Because
Yeah.
I was second year sixth form. UCAS came up. Like, rush. Do I do engineering? What do I keep doing engineering, or what do I do? Like I'm coaching right now. I'm volunteering. I want to do coaching. That's what I want to do. But bruv, like if I do coaching, yeah, my dad's gonna get mad. He's gonna get angry. Like, what's going on? But then I was like, you know what? F this. I'm going at it. And I, like, because I was watching Gary V. I don't know if you watch him. Watch him. He literally, like, he says all the things that you need to hear. He said, listen, you're gonna be 50, 60. There's the decision that you made, you could have made, and you could have done something that you like. And if it went wrong, you could have went back to what you wanted to do, or what you need to do, basically. When you're 60 and you do engineering and you haven't done coaching because you thought it would be a risk, or you didn't want to upset someone, how are you going to feel when you're 60, when you're 62, or when you're 50? But when you're even 40, you're looking back and you're thinking, what could have been, the potential that is there. I think people realizing their own potential and thinking, yo, like, I could do really well in this and I'm good at it and I like it. Why don't I do it? And I think cultural barriers is what stops a lot of us from moving forward. So the fact that you said, yo, like, I didn't want to regret what I was doing, it literally, I think it resonates with a lot of people out there. So thank you for that. Thank you for your time. Thank you for all your answers. Really, really insightful, proper insightful. I think a lot of people are going to look at it and think, oh, yeah, I want to get up and do something. It will inspire a lot of people. So I appreciate your time.
So, a pleasure.
I hope everyone out there is listening and taking in what's been said. And yeah, that's it from us. That's it from me. Let us know any questions, any thoughts, any comments. Let us know in the comment section, wherever. DM us for any thoughts you have, any ideas. Even if you want to come on here and speak as well, if you do a profession that you might want to come on here and speak about, then feel free to do so. But that's it from me. Any last words, Iqra, or is it a goodbye team?
Quickly, I just wanted to say, firstly, thank you for having me on. But secondly, I think for anybody listening, if there's something you want to do, if there's a career you want to go into, a profession, and you see a person that's already doing it, possibly go and ask them. The worst thing they can do is say no, but go and ask them. And if there isn't anybody that can give you the insight into that particular thing, go do your research, have a look, get involved in it, because there's no better time than the present. You don't want to look back and think that you wasted time. You don't want to look back and think that you weren't happy with the life choices that you made. So just sometimes, honestly, just go for, like, there's a saying that I say all the time, innit? Literally, sometimes in life, there's no end to that sentence. I hope you know. Sometimes in life.
Oh, is it? And I thought it was like sometimes in life you got to do.
Sometimes in life you got to do. Sometimes in life you got to go to that motive when you have work in the morning. Sometimes in life you got to just enjoy what you want to enjoy, honestly. So listen, sometimes in life, just throw yourself in the deep end and just see where it goes, because you might be able to swim, but you've never tried. Oof. Think about it.
Oh, think about it. Iqra, thank you so much. Hope everyone's enjoyed, and we'll see you in the next video. That's it. Oh, Iqra, man.
We'd
I
love
gotta
to
give
see
you a
it.
round of applause, man.